What is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny gameplay video. Glad you're here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to stay alive and maximize your KD, get your average life length stat up. How many people actually look at that stat? Your average lifespan in the Crucible. That's an interesting stat actually to look at on DTR. You should check it out sometime. See what yours is at. Compare apples to apples. But one of the best ways that you can really exercise self-control and patience in Crucible matches is really getting very cognizant about that stat and playing like it matters. So staying alive is a big important factor, especially in matches that are, kill oriented. I mean, elimination, clash, every playlist in Destiny is kill oriented, but in those environments it's even more important. So I'm showing you gameplay from two different matches here. One is it wasn't like a going off in terms of massive kill numbers. This isn't a 40 bomb, this isn't even a 30 bomb. This was just a clash match that I went 15-0, got a Mark of the Unbroken. I didn't do anything fancy here, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to show it and use it as an example. Is because it's not always about doing fancy things. Sometimes it's just about getting into the right engagements at the right time and bugging out of the wrong ones at the right time. So, first thing I'll tell you is no dumb aggression. Aggression is good in a shooter, obviously, but it has to be well informed and well timed. So dumb aggression will get you killed. I know that's a bit of a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how many people just run into areas where there are multiple blips on the radar and they don't have any teammates around them to do any team fire. So no dumb aggression. Movement and rotation is super important as well. Movement and rotation. Camping is overall not a good strategy, especially in a game like Destiny where there are grenades and super abilities that can one-hit kill you. If people start to figure out that you're camping a particular area, there are easy ways that they can drop you instantly. Another thing is radar awareness. Look at this, I get 2 kills with my golden gun. I see this blip on the radar in front of me. I'm waiting for that kill, but notice I see also on the radar that there's a blip to my back right. So as soon as I get this kill, I dip to the left. Like, I don't want to get shot from behind. I'm just going to wait there long enough to get my last kill with my golden gun and then bug out. Go regroup, get my teammates, and kind of move from there. So radar awareness is a huge factor in keeping your streaks alive, keeping your KD high. I have had videos in the past where I talk about radar awareness. I won't go over all that in depth, but I will just tell you this. In terms of radar awareness, you need to be looking at the radar every 3 to 5 seconds. My eyes are consistently darting up to that radar, It used to be when I had the face cam on the stream kind of dead on at me. You could actually see my eyes darting up to the corner of the screen to check that radar. So kind of hard to tell at this angle, but I'm constantly checking that radar every 3 to 5 seconds. Check your radar. It will give you massive amounts of important information. Some of the most important information that you can gather from the battlefield is pulled straight from that radar. The radar in Destiny is extremely generous. It's extremely generous. I mean, there are other shooters where your radar is a little more of an indicator of what's around you, but it's not all revealing. Destiny is not like that. Destiny is hyper revealing. It shows you location and if they're on a different vertical tier than you. So it gives you a butt ton of information. So you definitely want to use radar awareness to your advantage. I'm going to talk about, I mentioned movement and rotation. We'll talk about that in the next gameplay. It's actually a match on Xbox. I have been playing a lot more on Xbox of late. But next thing I want to talk about is team play. So even when you're a blueberry, if you go into a match solo, it doesn't take a rocket scientist just to know where your teammates are. And there are a lot of things that go into team play that are under that umbrella, and they're very valuable for a lot of different reasons. So things like team firing. Obviously, you see a teammate of yours putting shots on a guy, you shoot with them. It's not that you're trying to steal his kill or anything, but you're trying to prevent the other team from getting a kill, obviously, in a playlist that is kill-oriented. So team firing is a big thing. That's probably the most obvious one, but there are other things that people don't tend to think about. Staying near your teammates there's some benefits to that. One of the things I would say is that when you stay with your teammates, it makes the spawns a lot more predictable. So if you and your teammates are in the same general area, if you're a little bit more bunched up, you're less likely to find yourself lone wolfing it, and you've got, you know, most of your team on one end of the map and then you alone on the other end of the map. Well, where are the enemies going to start spawning? They're going to start spawning by you, because the game is going to say, okay, there's less risk if I put these people here next to the one guy as opposed to putting them over here with all the 5 enemies. You know what I mean? So when you stay close to your teammates, it makes the spawns a lot more predictable. So if you're using things like pulse rifles, scout rifles, sniper rifles, it means that you can more accurately predict where they're going to be and start laning those things. Big factor in keeping your streaks alive and keeping your life intact, getting your average lifespan up. So team play is a big factor. Another thing I would say is you definitely want to avoid one-dimensional gameplay. What I mean by that is just running, keeping your feet flat on the ground. You definitely don't want to do too much of that. I mean, that has its place. Obviously, you're a little bit more accurate when your boots are planted, but Destiny is a highly mobile game, so you can have a great shot and not be a great player. You can be highly accurate, but not really capitalize on your mobility in Destiny, and that will make you suffer against other talented players who are using the vertical space. You have to use your vertical space in Destiny, absolutely. It's a big factor. So avoid one-dimensional gameplay. Also, just being a predictable player in a lot of regards, like you need to start spicing up the way that you do common things, like even capping objective points in Control. If I'm capping an objective point and then I see red on the radar, oftentimes what I will do is I will assume that they are going to do one of two things. They're either going to throw a grenade on the cap point, or they're going to drop a super on it, because it's almost a guaranteed kill. You know exactly where someone is. If you see that an enemy is capping an objective point, you think, well, if I put a super there, I'm guaranteed a kill. So people will tend to use their abilities, their grenades or the supers, on cap points that are being taken. So if I am taking a cap point and I see red on the radar that someone is pushing, I will avoid their super / grenade by moving off the point just a little bit to the side, so that the cap point itself is still on their screen red, like someone's on it. It's not. If they're really observant, they can tell that the thing's going down instead of up. But most people will just see red on it, and they'll give more of their attention not to whether or not it's going up or down, but they'll give more attention to lining up their shot or their ability, right? They're gonna be looking for you on the cap point instead of analyzing, well, is it being captured? Or is it kind of cooling back down? They're not gonna be thinking about that. Most people won't. So moving off cap points, things like that, just being less predictable. So you want to avoid predictable one-dimensional gameplay, absolutely. That's going to help you stay alive and avoid unnecessary deaths. Next thing I would tell you is to listen to your audio cues. Audio cues are a big factor in Destiny. Audio cues will tell you when someone's popped a super in close proximity to you. So you'll hear those audio cues. That can let you know to bug out, what kind of a super it is, right? That's a big factor. Other audio cues include you can hear grenades. You can hear, for example, if I see a sniper round from my teammate go whizzing past my head, as I know that I've got red on the radar around the corner, and I see a sniper round go through the choke point, and I hear, oh, right on the other side of the wall, I'm going to logically assume that the guy just got body shot by that sniper round, and that it's probably a pretty decent push for me to make. So I can push in and know that the guy's hurt. So hearing those yells that the opponents will make when they take damage, or a teammate throws a grenade and I hear, oh, right? Okay, well, I'm going to push. This guy's hurt in some capacity. So my chance of winning this one-on-one engagement is a lot better now. So using your audio cues, big factor. They can tell you when someone's like jumping, right? You can hear hunter jumps, the psh, psh, or the floofing, right, of a warlock. So you can assume that maybe they're baiting you by kind of floofing over the doorway. So they're trying to bait you in with a shotgun. You're just going to get, pummeled with a shotty the second you walk through a door. Right, use your audio cues, big factor. You'll see a lot in this gameplay here on Rusted Lands. This is the Xbox gameplay. I am using my I'm moving all the time. I'm not staying in one place for too long, especially on a map like this. Rotation is so easy. It's pretty much just one big circle route that you can run. Avoid suicide tunnel, and you're good to go, right? So here I take damage, and I start using my cover, bait this guy down into chasing me. I go around the corner, break line of sight, and then re-engage. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So movement, huge thing. Last thing I would say is make sure that you're paying attention to super indicators, right? I'm still blown away every now and then when I'm playing Trials on stream, and I'm like, oh, careful, this guy's got a super, and I see people in chat, how do you know that guy's got a super? 99% you probably know this, but let me just say it again. If the level indicator above the enemy, right, says level 40, if that level indicator has a yellow border around it, then you know that the person has a super. If it's got like this gold border around that level 40, and you know they have a super. So pay attention to your super indicators. It'll let you know who's got a super active, and then you can say, okay, well, keep in mind, I just got to keep in mind that Titan's got the Twilight Garrison on. He had a yellow border around his name, so he's definitely got a super. I got to watch out for him. So it just makes you approach your engagements a little bit differently. So anyways, I hope that this was helpful for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay, and hopefully it was dynamic enough for you, and the information was good. So anyways, looking forward to catching you in the Crucible. Take it easy.